Hi there, my name is Shaminder Singh, and I'm recording this video to talk about a solution that I recently published on my GitHub. So I call this solution Portal Data Service, and this data service is written for Power App portals. And what it does is it provides us an easy way to query data within Power Apps portal either using JavaScript or Liquid. However, this is completely written using Liquid and it executes all those fetchXML calls using the Liquid fetchXML tag. So if you have been working with Power Apps portals, you would have noticed that there are two main ways to query data. One of them is using OData 2.0 endpoint, and the other one is using fetchXML liquid tag within your web template. And if you have a need to query data from your client side, so generally what we do is we wrap that web template with the page template and then with web page and expose it as a REST interface, which could be used and called from any client-side script. So while that approach works well, however, if you're working on a custom component and you need to query data frequently, or you have multiple forms where you have your validation logics and you want to query data based on certain field value change, right? So there, you would end up creating a lot of these kind of web pages to query data. And this data service makes our life easy in terms of getting the data with only one single endpoint. So all it takes is the fetch XML and then you get your data back. So in order to work with data service, there are few installation steps which we need to follow. The first one is to import the solution into your Power Apps environment. So I already have it imported in my trial instance. So once you have it installed, go to your classic interface and you'll notice there's a button called SPS controls available to you. Click on this. This will open a new page. And here you would be able to select your website. And in case you have multiple portals, it will give you an option to select your portal and then choose on which portal you want to install this portal data service. And I'm planning to include other packages also, and they would be available here in the same place as and when they are ready. But at the moment, we only have this portal data service, so let's install it. Okay, so once we have it installed, the next step is to hook our portal with this portal data service so that we can readily use it. And the way to do so is very easy. This is a script which can handle all the interactions with data service. So we just need to include it in our portal. And my suggestion is that you put it in your header web template so that it is available across all the web pages and you can use it easily. So let's just grab this, go back and open our header template, and we'll just put it at the end of our header. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's it. So we are all set. The next step is just go to your portal, clear your cache, and refresh. Okay. So once you have done these steps, and then you will notice that there's this object called SPS controls available to you, and it exposes this method called execute fetch. So we can pass any fetch XML within this method, and it will return us a promise back with the columns. Okay, so I already have a sample fetch with me, which I've shared on my GitHub repository as well. So let's copy this and go back to our portal, add it here. So what it does, it brings some attributes from contact, and then it does a link to account and bring the account number. So in your promise, you will get an orthogonal array back, and you can read any property which you specified into your attribute columns using this syntax. So you can find the column using this x dot call name. Basically, it's kind of a dictionary-like stuff where you identify your property, and then once you have caught your property, then you can, if depending on the field type, you can read the values from it. So if it's a primitive type field, you can just use call value. If it's a lookup field, then that then it depends whether you want to get the query or whether you want to read the name. So if you want to get the query, to just use dot id, and if it's the name, use dot name. And the same goes for pick list also. So one other thing that I want to point is that this works with linked entity also. And if you have an alias here, you can use that alias dot your logical name, and this will give you the related entity attribute as well. So let's execute this. Okay, so yeah, that worked. So we got all those properties from contact table. This is my account lookup ID. This is the account name, and this is my pick list, and this is the account number from my related account entity. Okay, yeah. So in my next video, I'll talk about how to consume this in Liquid. So stay tuned, and to let me know if you run into any issues. You can create issues in my GitHub repository. I'll be happy to work on them and resolve them. Yep. Thanks, and take care. Bye.